Yo, what's up? This is B-Boy Remind from Weapons of Mass Expression, Womb, Style Elements, Crew. Out here in Cali, you know what I'm saying, giving the shots out to all my homeboys in Italy, you know what I'm saying. Italy got a mad dope scene, you know. When we seen Maurizio come out from there, we learned a lot from Maurizio. He broke a lot of boundaries here in US that reached all the way out here and started making us even dance different. So, you know, it all goes around. And with my advice to y'all, man, is that, you know, I see y'all level and it's really a nice level. Worldwide it's a nice level. But to, you know, right now we're in this state of consciousness, fifth element, you know what I mean? Knowing exactly why we're doing this and being conscious of why we're spinning and turning and rotating and vibrating and shocking and rocking and footwork and freezes. You know what I'm saying? Is go deeper into your own roots and into the earth and to our atmosphere and everything. You know what I'm saying? To get connected with everything, because this hip-hop movement is a universal movement. Universal movement. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't fight the universe, we'll end up dancing and singing and up rocking and drumming, because that's what the universe is vibrating out there. Constant vibration, constant elevation. So know your roots, know your dance, you know what I'm saying? And add the 90s era into the dance worldwide, and you're going to see this dance big up more and more, because a lot of people exited out from 86 all the way to 92 on the dance styles in the 2000s and beyond. So I want everyone to try and put that 90s style, that New Jack Swing, all those styles in there, because it is hip-hop dance as one long constant elevation, not as in only the 70s. You know what I'm saying? We're constant elevation, constant, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Elevate your style, elevate your mind, open your mind to consciousness, and we can all get connected, and I'll see you in the circle for sure. One love. Italy, B-Boys represent hardcore, Remind, West Coast, Boom, Style Elements.
Peace people, party people, hip-hoppers worldwide. It's your main man, Zulu King Quick.
It's death to a hater just as soon as the drum drops. With the echo on the snare, it kinda sound like a gunshot. Niggas talking beef, but they packaging ham and will fight their way out of a traffic jam. Look, I'm way better than whoever you said's hot. When a 16 hit, it kinda sound like the lead pops. Fred got dreadlocks, snitches and feds watch, and I'ma choke the track out with an old school headlock. What's really good? What's really hood? Yeah, the more what the story is, I wish he really would. World on my shoulders, a lot on my mind. I ain't get no sleep since I got on the grind. I'ma go hard and I ain't gon' quit.
Repping the almighty Zulu Kings and the FUNKLORDZ crew, Atlanta, Georgia, South Bronx, and worldwide, wherever the passport may let me travel. Hopefully to your city, your country, your town, neighborhood, your barrio. You know, today I'm sitting here with my big brother Snap, you know, and just want to give a shout out first off to Italy, and then give a shout out to our ancestors of hip-hop culture. I have a couple of questions that I've been asked to speak upon, starting with, you know, what is, I guess, like hip-hop to me, and, you know, what does the hip-hop culture mean to my world, and what is my part of hip-hop culture. Hip-hop culture really is just my whole lifestyle, my way of being, my mentality, my focus, my job, my career, my desire, my everything. So, you know, it's really hard for me to talk about hip-hop with my boy Eddie in the back dancing, because I want to get them dance. But hip-hop culture is very important to me. I started young in the South Bronx, raised by my mother, a single mother, 3 children, incredible woman, and music was always around the house, whether it was salsa, whether it was dancehall, whether it was hip-hop. You know, music was just something that we heard around the clock, even when we were sleeping. And went from there to Florida, from Florida to Atlanta. Found my own way in Atlanta. Atlanta is in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. Found my way there on my own, broke free, and kind of really was bored of what the city had to offer me. So I stopped running track after 11 years and decided to do something else with my energy, which ended up being dancing. Later to become breaking to become b-boying, to become mastering my own style, my own methods, and this mastering the number one thing, which is learning how to become a student in my culture, hip-hop culture, and in the art of b-boying. So in those times, within those times, in the last 28 years, I'm giving my age, in the last 28 years, it's just been a progression of experienced hip-hop culture without even knowing it, without even the title being over my head. I didn't know that the salsa and the mambo and, you know, that the Caribbean music and our cultural upbringing has such an influence on hip-hop, and I didn't know that hip-hop has such an influence on our people. And I didn't know how important Puerto Ricans, New Yorkers, New Yorkers, youth, you know, and all of our people had influenced the rest of the world through this dance, through this music, and through these art forms. Today, I live off of it. I don't say I don't work, because I do work. It's a full-time job, you know, whether I'm dancing, whether I'm teaching, whether I'm doing seminars, speaking, whether I am, you know, sitting down listening to youth tell me what they learn. Sometimes it's paycheck, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's gigs, you know. And I've learned that when you go 100% in anything you do, it pays for you. In hip-hop culture, the most beautiful thing was that they took the essence of their ancestors and the pride of their people, and they represented that in one of the most impoverished states in the United States, and one of the worst times ever in the United States. Probably will never be another time like that. Hopefully we never see that again. The 50s to the 70s in the Bronx, New York. Also, you know, other boroughs as well, but mainly the Bronx. And our people took what they had limited access to and wasn't given anything. Everything that we did have as a city was taken from us, and we just took what was naturally ours, which was our rhythms and our freedom to rejoice in bad times and create something powerful like dance. And we rejoice through dance and our higher vibrations. So really now the thing I want to talk about is hip-hop culture and how it can help benefit yourself, if this is the culture for you, as it is for myself. No matter where you're at, especially out in Italy, for the people out in Italy, I know it's hard in a place where hip-hop has not been for a long time. I know it's hard in a place where it's not, certain parts aren't really like a big city, like New York, so it's not easy to get around to everything. Everybody in the city, much less the country, is not even aware of what hip-hop is or what hip-hop culture is. For the people that don't know the difference between hip-hop culture and hip-hop as in just 4 elements, hip-hop culture is a representation of our people. No matter where you come from, what you do, you bring your cultural history, your heritage, you know, and that, use that as your inspiration to why you do what you do. If your culture has a dance, a certain type of music, a certain way of dressing, an influence that represents something of hip-hop, you know, add that to your formulas of your talent, music, dance, rhyming, and use that to benefit your progression in your city, and to also create a bridge for the people that don't understand what you're doing. If you use some similarities, things that people are aware of, things that people know from their country and from their city, your country, your city, you know, you bring old songs, or you bring old drum patterns, or old music, or old clothes, or old art, you know, and you put together shows and events and music and dances that have to do with your people, then people can start to understand a little bit more what you're doing. They go, oh, well, I know that isn't he, he modified it. So where did he get the other influence? And it makes them start to think. And then, you know, you introduce your hip-hop, you know, what you've learned through your travels, through your practicing, through YouTube and all that other good stuff. And you present it to people in your neighborhood. Get people influenced. If you rhyme, let people know. You don't just go look for the MCs. If you b-boy or b-girl or whack or pop or lock or house, You know, whatever you do, share it with your community, share it with your neighborhood. Find some youth. If you're good, then get better and find more about your foundation, the history of every style, of every dance. Don't think that you can get away with a little bit of top rock and think you're a b-boy. Don't think you can have 2 or 3 top rock sets, a couple of dope blow-ups, and great power, and consider yourself a b-boy or a b-girl. It takes a lot more initiative. A b-boy or b-girl cares about hip-hop culture. They are the #1 at being a student. They're the #1 at reaching out to youth and teaching the youth. They're the #1s of doing shows, and it also takes doing classes, whether they're free, paid or not. Share your dance. As you learn, train, try to master the elements that you learn to the best that you can. And when you figure out that you understand what you're doing, go ahead and pass it on to someone else so they can progress and go forward. And before you know it, you'll have a whole team of people following your movement, you know. And even though you might be dancing like one of the greats, whether it be Crazy Legs or whether it be Alien Ness or Ken Swift or Frosty Freeze, you know, or anybody else that's out there, whatever you do, just make sure that those foundations you learn, those foundations are for you not to just be a puppet. Those foundations teach you the formula and the skeleton. Once you have your skeleton, you can move. Once you have your vocabulary of hip-hop or b-boying or b-girling, you can create your own words. You can create your own sentences, your own storyboards, your own storylines, your own metaphors, and you can get crazy with it. But don't be out there creating metaphors and creating all this craziness if you don't understand your foundation and your vocabulary. Learn what your moves mean. A lot of those moves are powerful, and when you understand what they mean, you appreciate them, you do them a lot more passionately, and the dance is a lot more timeless. And that goes in regards to every element or anything that you do, you know, not just limited to hip-hop. Anything you do, learn your foundation. When you learn your foundation, your appreciation is great and your opportunities are endless. Anyone in Italy that wants to reach me, they can go ahead on the Facebook, Quick Rojas, QUICROJAS. Hit me on the Facebook or the ZuluKingz.blogspot.com or Twitter, ZULU KINGZ, you know, QUIC. Just get at me, let's build, let's chat, you know, and when I get out to Italy this year, 2011, I think I should be out there in 2011, maybe in September. I'm planning on going out there, so if I get out there and get to meet people out there, let's build, let's see what we can do. Let's get the hip-hop Declaration of Peace out there. Let's get the Universal Zulu Nation chapter that's just becoming out there. Let's get that established, and let's get your traveling to other places in Europe and all around the world and sharing your history, because the most important part about hip-hop is learning each other's culture. You know, limited to what they want to teach us in school. Let's go beyond that. Let's learn the culture. Let's learn each other, and remember to always become a student. Don't speak all the time. Sometimes we just gotta listen, become students, and the more we listen, we good. I mean, peace and blessings, Universal Zulu Nation, Almighty Zulu Kings, FUNKLORDZ crew.